No, not yet one. No, not yet one. No, not yet one. Okay, so how many of you have computer? Okay, Shahidul Islam, you have computer, good. Okay, Shahidul Islam raised hand. What about other people? Okay, today we'll see some programming here, emulator, so please download that. Okay, let me write down. Okay, so first, when you write the program, first you have to define the model, okay? So what is the model? So you have to start with dot. So dot model small. Small. So we are going to work with the small model. So small model is enough for our program. So that's why we have taken the dot model small. So our model is small. So that is how we can define the model. So what you have tried? You have tried dot model, then space and small. Then you have to define the starting offset address. So what will be the starting offset address? I mean, from which offset you want to start your program, and you have to write dot stack 100 days. Okay. So that is the starting offset address. Dot stack 100 days. Okay. After that, you have to write dot code. Okay. In your program, there may be several codes, so you can write dot code for that. So dot code. Okay, so after that, so these are the preliminary things. So you have to write dot model is small, dot stack, because it is the starting offset 100 is, and dot code. After that, you will start your main procedure. So how can you start your main procedure? What did you learn in your class? What is the how we define the main procedure? Anyone can say? How we define the main procedure? What is the code to define main procedure? Anyone? Machine, Raja, can you say? Motion. Shaun Ali, can you say?
No, sir.
No, but we already talked in the class. Mominul, can you say?
No, sir.
Okay, so we have to define the main procedure. So you are not starting chapter 4. Right. Okay. Dot model is small, so stack the starting offset and dot code. I mean, so in your program you have several codes you have to write. That's why you write dot code. So that is the general form. After that, you want to write the your program. So your program first you have to assign the procedure, right? So main procedure. So you have to write main space procedure PROC, right? That will create the main procedure, and you are going to write your program in between the main procedure. Okay. So your what you want to do that is what you want to write in between the main procedure. Okay. First, suppose if you want to give some input. Okay. So I like to put some input, and how can we give some input data? Yeah. So if you want to give some input data, it has a code, and you have to write that code. Okay, so you want to put some integer data for input. So how can you write that code? So assembly has a code to put integer data as a input. The code is move is, that is the high value of register X, move is comma 1 and 21 is, and in 21x. Okay, this is the code for giving input integer as a input. Okay, so if you want to give integer as a input, so what you have to write? You have to write move is comma 1 and 21 is. Okay, that is the integer input code. So please remember that. So when we take Viva, we may ask this. So what is the uh, integer data for input? So if you want to give integer data for input, what you have to write? You have to write move is comma 1 and 21 is. Then you can put some integer data as a input. Okay, if you write that. So if you run this, you can see that something is up down emulator. Can you see in the screen, emulator screen, up and down sign? Yeah, can you see that? In emulator screen, black screen, there is a blinking. Can you see the blinking there? Yeah, white blinking. Okay, so while line appearing and disappearing, right? And what it says, uh, waiting for input. Can you read that? Waiting in yellow color and in yellow background, waiting for input. Input, and you can input integer input like 8. You put your input, right? 8. That's what I put. So you can put that input by which code? Move is comma 1 and 21 is, that is the code. Is that clear? So if there is no code, then can you give input? Let's check. Look, you cannot give input, right? You are not getting that option. So that is the code. So user data input. Suppose if you want to give some input, what you have to do? What is the code for that? Can you say? Can you repeat? Yeah. Move. Set. Full one. These are in chapter 4, but you are not starting chapter 4. That's why you are not getting. You are not. I mean, you cannot answer in the. Yeah, these are from chapter 4. These are the predefined assembly code. How many joined? Only 24. So many students here, but they don't come in lab. Okay, so move is. Okay, so these are the some assembly language predefined code. You have to remember those, right? There is no other way. So if I tell you give a input, so how can you give a input? You have to write this code. You have to remember this code. And 21 hex. That is the code, and it is details discussed in the chapter 4. Okay, you should study that. Now you can give input. Look, now there is option to give input. So that is how you can give input. So you can give input as a ace as an input. You can give anything as an input, whatever you want from the keyboard. There are lots of key in the keyboard, right? Anything you can give here as an input. That is called, that's why it's called user input. User want to give some input, so what you have to write, move ace comma 1 and 21 ace. Okay, is that clear? Okay. Now when user give input, that input stored in which register, you know? Which register that input will store? Suppose you will give input. Input is 8. This input will store in which register? Can you say? Okay. So okay, when user give input, this input will goes in AL register. Okay, you have to remember that. So input will go to register AL. Now, if you want to give, suppose after that you want to give another input. So what you have to do? You have to move that AL value to another register, right? Is that clear? Yeah, so when user gives some input, this input will store in register AL. So always that is how this works. That is how this processor works. You cannot change that. Okay, so when user gives some input, then that input is stored in register AL. Now, if you want to give another input, what you need to do? You need to uh, right. So let's move this input to another register. So you have to write move BL, comma AL. Is that clear? So we are moving the input to register BL. Okay. So we give input in register by this two put. We are giving the user input, and then we are moving that to register input, user input. Good. Then we move that input to register BL. Okay, after that, what you want to do? You want to print something. Suppose if you want to print something, you want to print, or you want to get some output. That is also called output. So if you want to get some output, what is the code of getting output? Can you say what is the code of getting output? Move ace comma 2. That is the code for getting the output. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, so what output you want to get? So, like you want to get, that is the code for getting an output, move ace comma 2. Now, what output you want to get? So, user input, you have given 8, right? Suppose after 8, you want a space. After 8, you want a space. Space means blank, right? So how can we assign space or blank? Or after 8, you want to go to the second line. That is also possible. I mean, the next line, the first line, second line, right? Yeah. So if you want to go to the second line, what is the code for second line? Can you say what is the code for going to the second line? Yeah. That code given in chapter 4. Yeah. So if you study chapter 4, you should tell that. What is the code of going to a new line? If you want to go to a new line, what is the code? Suppose, yeah, suppose you have given 8 in the first line. Okay, now you want to go to the second line and you want to give another input. So how can you go to the second line? Yeah. Okay, second line, you have to go to the second line. That's why you have to write move ace, comma, 2. Okay, that is it will print the second line. But before printing the second line, so you have to go to the second line. And to go to the second line, it has a code. How can we go to the second line? So look here, what is going on here? You can give an input 7, suppose. Now you are not going to the second line, right? You are not going to the second line. It's finished. It's finished already. You cannot put any input. You cannot go to the second line. Now, if you want to go to the second line, so what will be the code? Anyone? Okay. So to go to the second line, we have a specific code. And char is written on a line feed. Can you remember? We have studied these two things. Char is written on a line feed in our class. Yeah. Can you remember the char is written on a line feed? We studied in our class. How many times? 28. Okay. What is the code for char is written on a line feed? Yeah. Can you say that? Yeah. Can you say what is the code for char is written on a line feed? No idea. Okay, so you have to go to the new line. What you have to write? So you have to write move dl, comma 10. Okay, 10 for I think carriage return, right? The value of 10 indicates the carriage return. Move dl, comma 10, 21 hex. Okay, so move dl, comma 10 in 21 hex. So what is the result we get? Okay, so it's not working. You carry return, but you have to write the new line. So you returning here the second line, but you have to print the second line. You have to write the new line. So that is for line feed. So for line feed, we have another code, right? What is that code for line feed? Move here, parting, right? Yeah, so it is given in chapter 4. Study that. So move DL, 13 and 21 x. Okay. Now, hopefully, we'll go to the new line. Let's check whether we can go to the new line. Okay, I think we have new line. We already went to the new line, but we have to give a new input. Then we can see whether we can give a new input in the new line. So let's give a new input in the new line. Okay, so you already know that what is the code for new input. So input code move is comma 1 and 21 is right. That is the input code. So in new line given new input, so just write move is comma 1 and then the and 21 is and 21 hex. Let's check what will happen. We got a new input. Look, we can give another input. so you got two input now. Okay, so you got two input. Yeah, two times, same code. So you have to remember that code. Okay. Yeah. So after that, suppose so first input you store in BL already. The first input you store in BL. The second input you want to store another register. We will not store in BL because BL is already occupied by the first input. It is already filled up with the first input. Now the second input we want to store it another registers. Maybe in PAs. Okay, we're just saying what are the different codes to go to the new line, to go to the new input, this kind of code. We're just saying this kind of code. And okay, in assembly, the thing is, you have to remember those things. I mean, this kind of, I mean, this is for new input, this is for new line. So you have to remember this thing. There is no other way. I mean, uh, and this is the, I mean, predefined. I mean, move is comma 1 in 21 is that is the user input code. You have to just remember that. And this is the new line code. So what is the new line code? Move DL comma 10 and 21 is move DL comma 13 and 21 is that is the new line code. So you have given another input. So if you now want to go to the new line, what will be the code? Can you say? Uh, yeah, so you have given another input. Now if you want to go to the new line, what you have to write? Say. If you want to go to the new line, what you have to write? Say it. It is already given. You can see what.
Yes, sir. Move DL comma 10.
Yeah, and this new line, you are going to the new line, but this new line you also need to print this new line. So you have to start from, okay, you have to start from AS2. So that is the printing code. Print.
Yeah.
So new line you have to print also. That means new line, there is a new line, but you cannot see if you don't write move AS, so it is called user output, or you can also you can, yeah, you can write user output print. The new line print actually. So new line is your output. So you want to print new line. So let's start that. So we are going to give another new line. So you can write move is comma 2 move dl comma 10 and 21x move dl comma 13 13 21x. Okay, so after the second input, so you are moving to a new line, right? So after the second input, you are moving to a new line. Okay. Suppose if you want to print the value of BL, what is current in BL? You input one in BL, right? So input one in BL. So you want to print that in new line. You want to print that input one. Okay, so you going to new line. Okay. You have given 4, then you have given 5, then you want to a new line, and in that new line, you want to print the input value, input one value. What is the input one value? Where is input one value? So, so what you have to write? You have to write move base comma 2 move dl input one is dl, so you have to write move dl comma dl and 21 x. Delete 4 5 4. Okay, why you get this 4 at the end? Can you say why you get this 4 at the end? Yeah, can you say why you get this 4 at the end? I mean the third line 4. For which code you get this third line 4? 454. Why you get this third line 4?
For
Sir, first
last
one.
code, sir, I think, sir. Into
Yeah?
the 21 is, for the last code, I think, sir. Into the 21 is,
Okay, now you can print 4545. Can you print 4545? So what do I have to do? If I want to print 4545.
Then we'll create a new line, sir. Then we will write the move AH
Uh-huh.
comma and move DL comma A DL comma BH and into the
Mm-hmm.
21.
Okay, good. So let me write down that. So I'm going to write next. Okay, tell. So from where we will start? Okay, please tell.
We'll create a new line, sir. First,
Yes.
move
Tell me the
AH
code.
comma, then
Mm.
move DL comma
Mm.
10 into the
Okay.
21,
Mm-hmm.
DL comma 13 and into the 21H.
Move is comma 2. Move
Then move DL comma 10
G, comma 10.
and into the 21H.
21 X.
Then move DL comma 13 and into the 21H.
13.
So 30.
In 21 X. Okay? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now after that, what I have to do? Tell me.
After that, move AH comma 2,
1, 2, yeah.
then sir move DL comma uh, BH
GL, right? GL, comma,
comma BH,
is, yes.
then into the 21.
21. That's good. Okay, let's check. Simulate. 1, 7, 8. Oh, 7, 8, 7. What happened? 7, 8, 7. Why not 8 is not coming? Why? What is wrong? Is there anything wrong? Can you find out?
Sir, last one in 21 is
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. 8 is missing. So look, it's very sensitive. You cannot miss H because H is the hex, and D is the decimal and hex are not same. Okay, you got the answer 7878. Okay, so you know how to print new line, how to print any user input, how to take user input, and how to print new line. Right, very good. Okay, so now, so at the end, so suppose if you want to finish here, your program, you want to finish. Okay, so you want to finish here. Now, there is a finishing code. You can give that if you want. So that is called exit code. Exit code. If you want to write this one. Okay. So, so now you're done with your program. You want to exit. So it has a predefined exit code as well. You can write that exit code if you want. So you have to write move is 4CAs. Okay, move is 4CAs and 21 hex. Okay, move is 4CAs. That is for the exit. It will not. That means you are exiting. Your code is finished and you want to exit. No, you don't want to perform anything more. So move is 4CAs. Then you have to write n21 is. And after that, you have created the main procedure here, right? So main procedure, look, you have created the main PROC. That means main procedure, and you have written all of your code in between this main procedure, right? So you have created the main procedure here, and you have written everything in between this main procedure. So what you want to do, you want to end your main procedure here. Difference. Okay, so how can you end your main procedure? Main and P. Main and P. That is the code. Main and P. Main is the name of the procedure, and end, and then P. P is the procedure. So you are ending the main procedure. You started here. So you started the main procedure here, main PLC, and this main procedure you are ending right. You are ending this main procedure here. So that's why you have written main and P. Is that clear? Okay. And main and P, you have to write another line that is end main. So you are ending everything. So end main. That means main procedure. You are ending the main procedure. That is the end of your code. Okay. So this code is okay, right? You understand everything here in this code? Okay, good.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Yes,
so
sir.
okay, good. So we can see another another new things. So like loop concept, every language there are some kind of loop. In MATLAB, you know how to write loop, right? In MATLAB, maybe if I show you. Okay, so in C you have written loop, and how can you write loop here in assembly programming? So assembly is a it is kind of backdated programming. Its writing loop is kind of difficult here. It's not like straightforward like in MATLAB. It's very straightforward to like write loop in. I mean, updated program, their loop is very easy to write, like Python. These are the new program, That's why it's easier to write. But I mean, previous program it's kind of difficult to write loop. Here also it is confusing because you have to remember lots of things. Like it is the exit code, you have to remember that, and I mean, lots of thing you have to remember. I mean, it is not like close to English. And in recent tests, in recent programming, people are writing those programming in very close to English. Like Python is very easy to write loop. In MATLAB, it is very easy to write loop because it's, I mean, common sense, sensical thing. But here, look, you are going to the new line. You have to write this whole line to that. This is not very commonsensical. Earlier programming, so I think earlier programming are kind of difficult. So this four line to go to the new line and move h comma 2, that is for printing that new line. So this thing you have to remember here. There is no other way. So these are the syntax here. This is the user input syntax. Move h comma 2 comma and 21 is, that is what you have to remember. Okay, and if you those are details, discuss details in chapter 4. This, what is the task of this two line? What is the task of this four line? Go to the new line. What is the task of move is comma to? So these are details discussed in chapter 4. Please read chapter 4 if you want to know more. Okay, let's check how loop concept work here. Loop means you already know, I think. Loop means you will run the thing for a certain time, okay, for a certain period. I mean, suppose you want to make a loop, you want to go to the 0 to 9, and you want to make a loop from 0 to 9, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's talk about for loop. Loop. Okay, so you can write your name ID before that. So when you run your program, please write your name ID. Otherwise, I cannot understand. So when you insert your code, so your name, so you can write name. My name is name ID, your ID. Your, and then you write the department if you want. Simple. And the course code. Uh, so 274. Okay, like this. It will be easier to determine that you would run the program by yourself. Okay. So like before, you have to start with the model. So you can write dot model small. Okay, so that is the model. There are several types of model. We small model is enough for our program. That's why we take a small model. There are large model. Yeah, read chapter 4 all are given. There are different types of model: small model, large model, medium model. This kind of model are there. Dot model is small. The stack starting off stack no stack 100. Dot data. So I have data. Okay, so after data, suppose if you want to assign a variable, you already know how to assign a variable. So you have to give a variable name. Suppose x is my variable name, and this is a byte variable. You have to what do you have to give for byte variable? You have to give what you have to give for byte variable. Can you remember? Hello. Are you not answering? Is it comma or should be good? What do you need to give for byte variable? Say it, guys. X is a byte variable. Then x. Why you are not answering? How many joined? 34. DB. How did you forget? And what is your byte? So we are actually assigning array. I'm writing capital letters because I have given the caps block. That's why. So you can write all these small letters. No problem. Good concept. And that that sign is for okay, we have to give that sign. Just finishing the loop concept. After loop concept there is nothing. It indicates at the rate sign indicates that it should not be at the rate, it should be hash sign. Okay, so x is a variable, and in that variable, so x is an array you can say because loop concept we have many bytes. L is a byte, or O is a byte, another O, another byte, then another P is a byte. All are bytes. C is a byte, and O, N, C, P, T. All are byte. Okay. So in data, you have given a variable. So what is that variable? X, db, that is a byte variable, and loop concept. So loop concept, that is the language, that is the array you given in the loop concept. And then main frog. So that means you are starting the main procedure, and in that main procedure, okay, so you have given a data here. Data means you have given a variable here, and for that variable you have to uh, initialize the ds register, data register, ds register, I mean ds, that is the segment registers, to define that array, to define the address, to specify the address of that array. So you have to initialize the ds address register. DS is the address, right? DS is the segment register, so it is the address registers. So you have to define that address register to store that variable, store that x variable or x array. So what you have to write for that? So you have to write move x comma at the rate data. Okay, move x comma at the rate data. Then move ds, and this data address you have to assign to register ds. Ds is the data segment register where the address will of the data will be located. Dx comma x, that is the line. So when you give variable here, then you have to write this line. Move, you have given one variable, does not matter. If you give two variable, three variable, does not matter. If you when you give variable, you have to write this line. So move x comma at the rate data, then move ds comma x. So you are initializing the address register. Okay. So after that you want to print. What you want to print? You want to print the loop concept, that language. Loop concept. You want to print what? Loop concept. So how can you print loop concept? You have to write move case comma 9. That is a display code. Okay, you want to display loop concept. Okay, move case comma 9. It is the display code. You want to display what? You want to display that message. The message is what? X variable has a message and it is called loop concept. You want to display that message. To display that message, what you have to write? Move x comma 9. That is the code of display. You have to remember that. There is no other way. You just to remember. You have to remember that. There is no other way. I mean, so far I know. So move x comma 9. That is the display code. And which message you want to display? You want to display this message, loop concept. And what is the name of that loop concept? Is stored in x variable. So you have to load the effective address of x variable. How can you do that? You have to write load effective address of x variable. Lots of things you have to do. So load effective address of which one you display. You want to display loop concept. So that is in x variable. So you have to write load effective address dx comma x, not dx comma x. If you give the variable name y, then you have to write y here. Whatever variable name, you can give anything, that is up to you. In 21 hex. 21 hex. Okay, now probably, yeah, hopefully maybe it will display. Hopefully it should display. It's not okay. It's not displaying anything. Okay. Waiting. Oh, we have to remove those code. What is this code? First code. Where is this? Oh, there is a problem here. You cannot write that, so you just make it comment. Just give it as a comment, no problem. STA. Oh, spelling mistake. What's the problem? STACK. Stack. That is the starting offset. Okay. What is said? There is a error. Where is error? Error on single stack. Subscribe to out of range. Unknown of course. Script 64. Not supported. Okay. Okay. So we want to. I think we should finish the end line. I think. What is it? Dot model small dot stack 100 dot data xdb. It is okay. I think look concept main plot. We started the main procedure. Move x at the rate data move ts comma x. And then we want to display the ds and 21 is everything. Okay. Okay. What about we write main and p and main. And problem happening. Okay, now it works. So you have to end the main procedure you started. Okay, so what is the message you get here? Can you read the message? Can you read the message? Hello, guys. Can you read the message?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Look,
Loop concept. Okay, loop, we just display that, but we have not seen the loop concept. Loop means you are starting from somewhere and you are continuing the loop. So I think we don't have that much time today, so we'll show you later. It's better to, if you understand this code here, it is written loop.
Yes,
So
sir. The
these three are,
message is
yeah, so these three are the general code. Dot model is small, dot stack 100 is dot data. That is the general assign a variable, or you can say array, like we studied in the class. So x db loop concept. That is my array, and the message is loop concept. And this, what is this sign? This hash, it is hash sign, I think. This hash sign is important because you want to finish. That means you after when you write some message, this hash sign you have to give. The hash sign indicates that you want to print this loop up to concept. And okay, and then main procedure, you started the main procedure and you end the main procedure here, and you are ending the program, that means. And in I mean this variable has some address where it will store, and it will start it in DS register. DS is the data segment, that is the address register. So you have to initialize the address of the given variable. That's why you have to write this code. And after that, you want to display X variable. So this is the display code. If you don't write this code, then it will not display. And just run it. Let's see. Look, it will not display. So what is the display code? You have to remember that. What is the display code? Can you say? display code say
move
move is
as comma 9
hmm, then load
uh,
effective
let
address hmm, load
dx
effect dx comma
comma x
yeah x is the variable. Look, if you
variable
change it to suppose y variable, then you have to write here y.
y
Then the
int
finishing
21.
interrupt, yeah. So interrupt 21 is the finishing interrupt.
Yes.
So if you want to study about more interrupt 21, please read chapter 4. There are lots of things in chapter 4. I think yeah, so you can study there. We cannot cover everything in our short period. So you get the loop concept. Now loop concept, that is the name, that is, we just write down the name loop concept, but loop concept is not studied, started yet. So we'll study the loop in our next class. Okay,
Okay, sir.
that will be better. So for now, remember this one and the first one. So just keep in your mind what will be the code for input, user input, what will be the code for printing, what will be the code for display, what will be the code for assigning variable, what how can we write the program structure, this kind of thing. Just keep in mind.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good. So let's take your attendance.